morning, good afternoon, wherever you happen to be, and welcome to the Azure Minerals story. Azure is an Australian company listed on the ASX and very much focused on our Andover nickel-copper-cobalt sulfide project located in the Pilbara region of Western Australia. And you can see in the photograph there on the first page the 3 drill rigs that are drilling on that project right now. Just a quick snapshot of the company. We've got 300 million shares on issue with a market cap at the moment of about $86 million. We're well cashed up, well fully funded for at least the next couple of years, with over $34 million in the bank. Our major shareholder is Deutsche Balaton, which is a German listed investment fund. The Kookynie Group with 15% are our second major shareholder, and we acquired most of our projects from the Kookynie Group. And also Teck Resources, the Canadian mining company, is there at just under 7%. The projects that we've got in Australia are all located in Western Australia. We have the nickel and gold projects in the Pilbara region of northwest Western Australia, and we've also got a single gold project located in the Eastern Goldfields of the southern part of Western Australia. So most of this talk will be about our Andover nickel and copper project, and we sort of move into that right now. The Andover project and the 3 gold projects, Turner River, Kookynie, and Mallina, are all located in the Pilbara, which is Australia's premier mining district. Andover is located just in West Pilbara, just to the south of the towns of Karratha and Roebourne. It's a 60% Azure, 40% Kookynie Group joint venture, which we've been managing since the middle of last year. And in that time, we've made 2 significant nickel and copper sulfide discoveries on the Andover project. The 3 gold projects are much earlier stage. Turner River, Kookynie, and Mallina are all 70-30 joint ventures with the Kookynie Group. The most interesting and probably exciting of those is Turner River, which is located adjacent to De Grey Mining's Mallina gold project and their sensational new Hemi gold discovery. And there's a little bit of a slide on that later in this presentation. But we're here to really talk about the Andover project, because Andover is just one of those fantastic new nickel copper sulfide discoveries that are being made in Western Australia right now. So it is the right project for the right company. The people in this company have a significant experience in exploring for, discovering, and building mines on nickel and copper sulfide deposits. Particularly this being a high-value battery metals deposit with nickel, copper, and cobalt makes it a much more interesting project from the development point of view than, say, the bulk commodities like manganese and lithium as alternative battery metals. Andover is located in a fantastic location just to the south of the town of Karratha. So it's a 2-hour flight from Perth into Karratha, and then it's a half-hour drive from there onto the site. Everything you could possibly want for a mining and exploration project is located within 1 hour's drive of the Andover project. So we've got highways, got power, water, mobile phone coverage, accommodation, all the services that one could possibly want very close by to the project. And we're really busy on there at the moment. We've got 3 drill rigs drilling, and we've got a resource drill out program underway on the main deposit that we've discovered. Azure, as I mentioned before, is very well funded. We're fully funded going forward for at least the next couple of years with over $34 million in the bank. And the team that we've got on board is very experienced in the nickel sulfide game. My background being one of the co-discoverers of the Cosmos nickel deposit for Jubilee Mines, and the team that we have there have also worked in nickel copper sulfide deposits all over Western Australia. So let's have a quick look at Andover now. Andover is a large layered mafic, ultramafic intrusive complex, similar in style to the Fraser Range area, where you have the Nova Bollinger mine, which is being operated by IGO, and you have the Legend Mining's Mawson discovery, also in that same province. And of course, there's the Julimar project, which is run by Chalice Mines, which is also a layered mafic, ultramafic intrusive. What we have here at Andover is a large 100 square kilometre land package, which shows, the complex is 100 square kilometres, and we have 70 square kilometres of that within our property. The complex itself can be seen on this image as the bright pink, purple and blue components, which is intruded into a sedimentary basin, which can be seen as the surrounding orange. The two major deposits that we've been drilling on so far have been designated as VC7 and VC23. We've actually drilled into significant amounts of nickel and copper sulfide mineralisation at both of those projects. Both of those were identified originally as electromagnetic conductors, and there's numerous conductors at both of those prospects. And each time that we've drilled one of those electromagnetic conductors, we've actually hit significant amounts of nickel and copper sulfide mineralisation. So to date, we've drilled numerous EM conductors. We've hit nickel and copper in each of them, and there's been no false positives in there whatsoever. So it's 100% success rate and on the discovery front for nickel on this project to date. Also within there's at least 5 other prospects that we really like, which have yet to be drilled, and they are going to be explored and drilled later in the year. But for now, the focus is very much on VC7 and VC23. So let's zoom in on VC7 now. We have the VC7 is at least 1,000 metre long mineralised corridor that stretches in an east-west direction. It contains, within that corridor, it contains multiple steeply plunging chutes of massive nickel and copper sulfide mineralisation that starts on the eastern end near surface and extends to over 400 metres at vertical depth, and on the western end extends down to over 500 metres in vertical depth. So on the eastern end, VC7, which is where the discovery was initially made, we've got a zone there that's over 300 metres long, 400 metres at from surf top to bottom, and it's still open at depth. Within that mineralised zone, we have an overall mineralised envelope which is 15 to 20 metres wide, sometimes up to as much as 40 metres wide, grading around about 1.2 to 1.5% nickel, and about 0.5% copper as well. And within each of those overall mineralised intervals, we've got an internal high-grade zone in each of those that's running around 6, 7, 8 metres wide, up to about 2.5% nickel, and also around about 0.5 to 0.7% copper. So very, very solid intercepts of mineralisation have been drilled in the VC7 East. And VC7 West is located off on the left-hand side of this image. This is a relatively new discovery made within the last few weeks. We've got at least 2 mineralised zones out there that have been drilled to date, and multiple untested EM conductors can be seen out there. And what we're looking at here is within the overall VC7 mineralised corridor, you have these 2 zones which are identified there in pink, at least 2 of those, and there's probably multiple others as well that have yet to be drilled. So things are looking really positive on the VC7 at the moment. If we flip this onto its side and we look at it as a long section, looking to the north, we have here on the right-hand side of the page, the VC7 East, which is the area where we've done most of the drilling to date, and we've got mineralisation from surface at the discovery zone extending down to at least 500 metres below surface now. Coincident with the electromagnetic conductor plate that can be seen there is on the right-hand side is the green polygon. This is a heat map that shows that the width of the sulfide mineralisation times by the grade, and the mineralisation remains significantly open in most directions. And then VC7 West on the left-hand side of this image. Initially, we've identified 2 electromagnetic plates, what we call the upper and the lower plates. To date, we've drilled 5 holes have been completed into the area. We've hit really solid nickel and copper sulfide mineralisation in those drill holes, in most of those drill holes, and that can be shown there is on the left-hand side as those small bluer circles. So this mineralisation is significant in that it is large and it's open along strike and at depth, and the potential to identify and define a very large body of nickel and copper sulfide mineralisation is very high here. So where to from here in the rest of this year? Well, we've got 3 drill rigs drilling on VC7 at the moment. So the resource drill out is underway. Initially, it was going to be 30,000 metres. It looks like this is getting larger. So it's probably going to be upwards of 40,000 metres of diamond drilling is going to be carried out. The drilling is being guided by the downhole electromagnetic surveying we're doing, because this is ideal in identifying the massive sulfide bodies. And we have yet to identify anything, or have yet to drill any of these EM conductors which have not been nickel. So as I said earlier, it's a 100% success rate. Identify an EM conductor, drill it, and you hit nickel sulfide mineralization. The same goes for also VC23 and some of those other targets that we identified earlier, which have been identified initially by the surface EM surveying. So between now and the end of the year, we'll continue with the resource drilling, and the intention is to have a resource completed and published before the end of 2021. And we're that confident about the projects that we're going to be continuing now with the development study program that's already underway. So we have metallurgy going, geotechnical and mining studies are already underway, and a whole host of other studies are in progress, with the intention of running these development studies in parallel with the resource drill out, with the intention of having a scoping study completed sometime within the first quarter of next year. So things are very busy at Andover, 3 drill rigs and numerous technical people fully involved in progressing this project through resource, through the development studies, into the scoping study, and further on to the feasibility study if warranted. So that's Andover. And I'll just very briefly mention a couple of the gold projects. We have the Turner River Gold Project, which is located also in the Pilbara, just to the south of the Port Hedland area. It's located, Turner River comprises 450 square kilometres of land, which is located right next door to the Mallina Gold Project, which is run by De Grey Mining. And their very recent and very large Hemi gold discovery. Hemi is located in a bunch of rocks where granites have intruded into sediments, and that's controlled by these cross-cutting large structures. These structures are shown there as red lines, cross-cutting from southwest up to the northeast. And within our Turner River project, we've got similar sorts of geology, similar rocks with 12 kilometres of that same gold-rich shear zone cutting through our ground. So the intention is as soon as these 2 tenements are granted by the Mines Department, because there's still applications at this stage, we will be out there on the ground, geophysics and doing bedrock drilling, looking and to replicate a Hemi-style discovery on our ground. And finally, the other gold project we have is the Barton Gold Project. It's located in the Eastern Goldfields of southern Western Australia, so between Leonora and Kalgoorlie in the Kookynie Gold District. It's 200 square kilometres of land, which is located within a very, very gold-rich area around Kookynie, where, for example, Genesis Minerals have got over 1.5 million ounces of gold immediately to our left, which is our project can be shown there, is shown there in blue. So Genesis with 1.5 million ounces to our west. We've got Saturn Metals with nearly 1 million ounces of gold off to the east. We've got numerous other gold discoveries are being made immediately to the south of us at Kookynie. So there's a lot of gold being discovered. Our 200 square kilometre block of land has hardly been explored. The only drilling on here has been done in the late 1990s, so over 20 years ago. And within that time, or over that time, there's been a very little exploration done, and certainly no further drilling has been done. The intention that we'll have as soon as this is granted, and that should be done within the next couple of months, we'll be on the ground and we'll be drilling, and particularly where we can see these structures, these fault zones that contain the gold mineralisation outside of our property, where they extend onto our property. They are prime drilling projects or targets. And that work will be underway absolutely as soon as this tenement is granted by the Mines Department. So where to from here? And what do we take away from the Azure story? Well, we're certainly well cashed up. We'll not be looking to raise any money anytime soon, but we've got it, and we have sufficient funds for at least the next 2 years. Resource drilling on VC7, also the scoping study to be completed sometime in the early part of next year. Lots more exploration drilling to be done on all the other targets we've identified on Andover. This potentially could be a major mining camp with multiple deposits of nickel and copper sulfide mineralisation. And finally, the gold exploration drilling at Turner River and Barton will hopefully be underway in the middle of this year as soon as those tenements are granted, and there'll be a lot of drilling done down there as well. So that's the Azure Minerals story, and this is a great snapshot of sunrise coming up over one of the drill rigs on the Andover project. And I thank you very much for your time. Thank you.